Addressing the impact of social media on the mental health of area youth students. That's the goal of a workshop hosted by the Oregon School District Wednesday evening. 23 News reporter Anthony Ferretti talks with the Oregon School District and a mental health expert about how we can address the growing impact that social media has on young adults.
The U.S. Surgeon General says there isn't enough evidence to determine if social media is safe for everyone to use, and that's one reason why the Oregon School District wanted to bring the community together to address this problem locally.
You see a lot of parents on it and they think, what's the big deal? Everybody's doing it, and they're not really realizing how much it's impacting our kids.
Monica Benson is a mother of 5 kids, with her youngest being 14 years old. She limits her teen social media time to roughly 4 hours a week, and she's also a mental health counselor.
I get a lot of adolescents coming in that are greatly impacted. They get the social bullying, the false information thinking they have conditions that they don't.
Benson attended Wednesday's session to learn more about what solutions can be implemented to keep kids safe on social media.
I actually like the contract that he had. I think that'd be a good thing to implement even in my own home, to put it in hard writing.
The U.S. Surgeon General says there are good things to social media, like forming and maintaining relationships, but there are also negatives. Some studies point to cyberbullying-related depression, poor eating behaviors, and poor sleep.
Many of us didn't grow up in an era of social media, so we're seeing it from a totally different lens than them.
An assistant principal in the Oregon School District says the district has a counselor and social worker in the elementary school building. While that's helping some students, most parents express wanting solutions they can put in place, like parental controls and a bedtime for these devices.
If we have a good relationship with them, we can better notice when something seems off, especially for several days in a row.
Licensed clinical social worker Kevin Polke spent the past 2 days with several Oregon School District students and staff to talk about this issue. He says the solution is learning to be responsible social media users.
Thank you, Anthony. And Polke also recommends the grandma rule. If you don't want your grandma to see it, don't post it on social media. Parents can also limit use to certain spaces, like only in the living room.